So now you umetoka from Hosi, you can stay by yourself.
Yeah.
Now the story of art begins.
Yeah, the story of art begins. Now remember I had the paintings nilikuwa nimeweka kando.
Yes.
So I decided, okay, I'm going to start with these ones. Maybe I can bring in some few things. Nikasema let me put some hoodies or something like that. Alafu nizi print hivyo. So nikaenda to Rivers. I chose to go to Rivers. So I could look at that place and see maybe itakuwa na some watu affluent. You see, when you think about art, you're thinking of watu wenye wana appreciate art ni wenye wako na
Elegance
pesa.
and all that.
Yeah. Wenye wako na pesa. So I figured, to Rivers is a nice place to start. This is where now people will now see my work. They will buy it. So there was a setup uko where we had like a Masai market kind of thing, where you're given a space to put up your work. So I set up, nikakuwa prepared, nimejipanga, and then I could set up my work. So pole people would come and look at my work. I can say at first I could sell maybe 1 or 2 paintings. But now it got to a point, I wasn't selling anything. Mwezi inaisha. Miezi mbili inaisha. I realized this thing cannot be sustainable. Because if at all I'm even putting my paintings here, I even have hoodies. I've tried to spice the shop up so that people are attracted. If they won't buy this, they'll buy the other thing. Then I realized it's not sustainable. And I had to go back to zero again. Nirudi kwa ground, ni decide sasa how am I going to head sasa. Now I had used money there because now we used to pay rent. So unalipa, I had paid for a couple of months. So hiyo imeenda. So now we move on to the next step.
And all this while, even to set up the shop and all that, you are using your savings.
I'm using my
Hauko
savings.
job.
Siko job. So I'm using my savings. So natumia pesa lakini hakuna pesa inarudi.
Yeah.
So nimetoka and then I left. I decided to first go home. And now nipate inaitwaje hii focus nijue naelekea direction gani. So I remember that I went and set up a shop hizo pande za nyumbani. But again I tried the same. It's like I tried the same thing huko. I put up some clothing, but now I didn't stay even there for long. You see, once you've experienced something and then you try it again, ukishaona dalili you won't hautaipursue sana.
Uta persist like the first time.
Uta persist like the first time because already unaona it's not going to work. So I stayed there for like 4 months. Yeah, 4 months and then I left. Was it even 4 months or less? I think 3 months. Alafu nikaachana nayo. So nikaenda kwa nyumba. So I had these canvases. I had ordered some canvases that I would be painting on. So nikaziangalia hapo kando. And then I figured, see, I can do something with these canvases. And then I had seen people kwa social media wakifanya history ya art, wana set up hivyo, wanaita watu wanakuja wana paint. Nikasema si I can do this thing.
Now which year is this now?
This is so 2020, 2021 I was out. This is 2022.
All right.
In October. That's when now I kicked it off. Nikasema let me go. I mean acha niende pale Karura. Niweke vitu. Watu watakuja. But now before that I shared with those close to me, my siblings. Kambia by there I want to do this thing and I'd like you to be my first clients. So they showed up and a few friends. So we had a nice first, let me call it a lounge. It was the first one and it was so good. So when I saw that and I could see people were attracted, people would even come and ask. There are those even who are strangers walking in Karura. They just came and found us painting and they joined. So I figured, this thing is really nice. It's something that can really work. So from that point now, I decided now to go forward with it. I started now planning. I would plan for an event maybe after a month. Napanga nasema nitafanya like after a week or 2 weeks. I think I began with 2 weeks. Because now pia ka confidence sijapata sana about it. But nikasema I will do it. After 2 weeks napanga hivyo. I opened an Instagram page. So I started posting. And I had started actually posting before because I could post my paintings there. So nimeendelea hivyo. I did the second one. Nikapata watu wachache. And then there are times I would advertise and get no one. Like I advertise, nimeenda set up. Sipati mtu anakuja huko. but I still kept going on. So that was in October 2022. Fast forward now, we went through the year. Pole Pole started now being known, kidogo kidogo. And then I used to now set days aside. I go to Karura Forest. I just set up. I call them market days. I go set up. People come. I give them flyers. They paint. There are those that would come and paint, have a painting session hapo. And then pole pole now started nikaanza kujulikana. And then kidogo kidogo, I remember, I don't know how I met this guy wa Kikuyu Love Sessions. We just kicked it off and we said, see, we do one in one of your events. This is a Kikuyu Love Sessions. We do a painting session. We collaborate.
Yeah.
We did the first one. The first one was nice. We got people even painted during the night. Yeah. And then now, from now then, we developed now a relationship. Now we could work together. Now that was the first one. Now that got me excited because I'm thinking, wow, this is something that people actually love. So pole pole now I decided I'll invest in this business. When I was starting, I started with palettes, with brushes, with paints, peke yake, and canvases, and easels. Now I introduced aprons also. I had to to brand myself. So I introduced aprons, and then people would come and paint and I put on aprons and I would say, they're looking nice and it's representing my brand as it should. So we kept going. I now got to a point, I remember I was called by a lady from Panorama Hotel. Yeah, and I was excited. I'm thinking, wow, how did this happen? And she tells me, I've seen your work. I see what you've been doing and we'd like to work with you at Panorama. And I was so willing. And it's every one of these people I was meeting, I believe that they were coming at the right time because we would just kick it off like this and everything starts rolling. So we kicked it off with her too. We did our first event, family fun day there. We also had we've had like 2 family fun days, and now we are planning for another one. So it will be our 3rd edition. So as we've been progressing, the exposure has really helped. And then now, as I've been going on, see now I'm selling the idea also. I realized, okay, this thing can also work with hotels. So let me start selling the ideas also to the hotels. So pole pole, as we've been going on, I got to a point now I decided even to sell to the outside now. I can even go outside town. So in my rate card, I did not restrict it. Ikuwe that ni Nairobi peke yake. So even someone who wants us to go outside of town, we will do it. So I got another one. We went to Machakos. So pole pole, we've been growing step by step. And now we are looking at going into other towns also. Yeah, like Nakuru. And now that we're in Naivasha, we are supposed to expand there. I'm also doing it still in Nairobi. And now we are now penetrating Nakuru now.
Now, how was the transition now from employment to now doing your own business? Because those are 2 different worlds.
Yes. Now, you see, I was used to a flow of income. Nilikuwa najua that every end of the month, pesa inaingia. And first of all, I had struggled with management of my finances. In the sense that I wouldn't even balance. Unaona vile unakuwa na savings, na hii. I didn't have that a structure of how to manage my finances. So it came at a time when I was struggling with that skill. So you can imagine I have left work. Now I have to start depending on this business, which is not yet yielding. I have to eat, I have to wear, I have a house. So there are other needs that come all around. So I needed to find a way of how I was going to really manage. So it actually humbled me so much because now ile tabia nilikuwa nayo ya kutumia pesa, I was a spendthrift. I now moved from being a spendthrift. I had to figure out sasa hii pesa napata nitahave kuigawanisha in such a way that I don't sleep hungry. So it wasn't easy. It's something that I had to learn. I started now even having to manage Excel sheets so that I'm able to monitor my finances and know I'm using this and this and this. So I'm glad penye nimefika because I've adapted to also you get to a point where you're able to prioritize. So I had to also know how to prioritize my needs. That si ati naona kitu nakimbia kununua. No, wacha let me work with what I have. So it humbled me to that point. I had to know how to work with that. So with time, I have developed the skill of balancing. my finances. And there are months when I'll get some good money. There are months which I won't get as good money. So I just keeping on, because once I see that there is a month that I've gotten some good money, then it means that there are possibilities of me getting even more than that, as long as I pursue and keep expanding and growing my business.
Now, when it comes to businesses that are based on art, some people really there's a certain notion of like you're supposed to be doing this thing as a hobby. When they see you are charging, they don't really understand why you are charging.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with that? Because from a creative perspective, that is something people go through. Like people don't really understand that it is also a form of business. They really want you
Yes.
to do it as a hobby to them and all that.
It's not just a hobby. I think majority, first of all, I think when it comes to art, people and the field of art, when people look at art, they don't view it as a business. They don't view it as something that you can make money out of. So I think that is something that now people need to come to understand, that even when this person is doing this thing, yes, it is a talent and it is a hobby. But again, as much as it's a hobby, this is my source of income. So you don't come and try act as though hapa ni kama tunafanya charity work. You know, it's not charity work. This is my source of income. The way someone wakes up and goes to work at work at 8 a.m. and leaves at 5, it's the same way I wake up and work on my business. So I've had times when people will come for my sessions, they look at the charge that I'm offering, and they'll tell me, oh, there's a place where nachajiwa kidogo. I don't know, I charge 500. Now, when you tell me that, may I know what I'm offering, the value I'm bringing to the table. And then my focus is not only, you know, when it comes to, when you're doing something that you love, it's a passion for me. So as much as it's a business, it's a passion. And it's something that I really love doing. And I love to see when people come for my sessions and they leave so fulfilled. You know, when someone comes, because our aim is to promote love and wellness. Our aim is for our clients to come and feel that they have a safe space to express themselves, that they don't have to restrict themselves, and they don't have to talk. They'll just come and paint. We have a social time together. We have stories. We just bond over the painting session. So for me, my aim is usually to add that value to this person, such that when they are leaving, they feel fulfilled and satisfied. Wanasikia that enyewe that money was worth it. So pia with time, I've gone adding value. With the charge that I give, I also bring in add-ons. I'll offer snacks, something that when they come, they even feel so relaxed. For children, we'll also have even singing games, you know, so such things. So it's been something that pole people are understanding. And then you'll have to understand that not everyone is your client.
True.
Not everyone is your client. There are those that will get to understand your business and they'll know that this is where they fit. But there are those who won't understand and they'll choose to go. There are other people that we're in the same industry with. They're doing the same thing. But again, we do things very differently. How I've structured my business is different from how another person has structured their business. So in the same way, I tend not to kubeba mtu. Usibebe mtu. This is not personal. Yeah, again, we have different tastes, different preferences. You might come to my session and you feel, oh, this is where I belong. But you might go to another, you might come and feel this is not where I'm supposed to be, or I'd like to try someone else. So with that understanding, you're able now to, even when you're pricing, you will price depending with knowing that there's value that you're adding to these people. Si ati uko pale tu kutengeneza pesa, you know, yeah, there's value that you're adding.
Now, have you had a hard time maybe trying to to people who don't really understand what it is that you do? You know, there is that always that gap of people don't really understand.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do?
Yeah.
Have you had that kanini trying to explain like, okay, why?
Like
How
me
do I?
uchora.
Me uchora. Like, have you had one of those? Because it's something again with creatives.
Yes.
Explaining what you do.
Yes.
How?
I think majority of us as artists, there's a struggle that we have. First of all, when you do let's go to the people that do their art pieces, even I myself. when I do the art pieces, when I look at it, sioni ikikaa poa. But when someone else comes and looks at it and they see how good it is and they tell me it's good and I'm thinking, wow, kumbe this thing is good. So you have also to understand and be comfortable knowing that not everyone will understand you.
Yeah, yeah.
For example, even when I was starting the whole business, I remember being told that you need to add something on top of what you're doing because there's that belief that this cannot sustain you. But again, you're the one who carries the vision and you can see how big this thing can be. So once you keep focusing on your vision, then these others are just distractions. Because if you tend to listen to people telling you, by the way, kitu haitengenezangi pesa, and let me tell you, I might be running this business and someone else is running the same business, but I'm making so much money more than the other person.
Correct.
And we are running the same business. So it all depends with a lot of things. How positive are you about it? How are you approaching the whole, and even how are you taking in the sentiments from people? You'll find people who will just undermine your work. Anaona ni kama hakuna kitu unafanya. They don't believe in you. They don't believe in what you're doing. So that is something you also have that wisdom to understand and emotional intelligence to understand that not everyone will understand you. And the fact that not everyone will understand you doesn't mean that you're not on the right track. You are on the right track. You just need to keep focused. Remember, there are those that already wanaona you are doing something. When they come for your sessions or you go to where they are, because I usually also go for home calls, they'll appreciate what you're doing. So that one person, those two people, three people, when they see what they're doing and they come and they say, Manzi, I've just had a great time, then that also gives you the motivation to keep going. Yeah.
And for those that get it, how has the feedback been?
Oh, it's been nice. Like people will come and tell me, wow, this is my first time experiencing this. I didn't know I could paint. You know what usually happens when you come for the painting session? I'll guide you through from the beginning to the end. And so I'll walk you through until you have your painting and you carry it home. So you find that
they carry it home.
They carry it home.
Wow.
So you go, you can choose uza, ama you hang in your house.
Yeah.
So, or you gift someone.
Yeah.
So when you come and you paint, and then I see how now they even feel, it's also meant to boost your confidence.
Yeah.
So when I see how it's boosting their confidence and they're feeling, wow, I've done this. And then again, they tell you, by the way, I'd like you to come for an art party. I'll tell my friends about it. We can come with my friends next time. So you find that people also, there are those that will tell you, by the way, I came hapa nilikuwa na feel niko stressed, but once I've painted, I feel this is so relaxing. This is so nice. Yeah. So with that kind of feedback, you get encouraged. And it's been a very nice feedback because when you see that people are actually looking for you, then it means you're really adding value to these people. There's something that you carry that you have for them. So I tend to see it in that way.
How has the business been in terms of networking for you as a person, not even for the client?
First of all, I haven't been very keen with networking. I think when I began, I was so focused on building it, like getting clients. So I used to use social media, Instagram, to get people to come on board.
Yeah.
But now once I started noticing that people are reaching out, like as I've told you, like Panorama now reached out like that. And then I get people who are interested. I'm working with Kikuyu Love Sessions. Now I became interested to want to interact with other people. And so I realized it is also important to go out there and expose myself and even get to interact with other business people and entrepreneurs because there's something that I will learn from them. There's something that I can pick from them. So I have attended at least, I've gone for one networking event. And from that networking event, I met some wonderful people that I would like to work with. So that is something that I'm actually working on and looking forward to doing. So I'd say that networking is very important. Expose yourself for you to be seen. But ukijikalisha, where you're just running your own business kivyako, you need to interact with also other people that are in the same industry for you to understand the dynamics of the market so that you're able to know, okay, where can I improve? What can I get rid of so that now we keep growing?
So now, there's some people who think getting into business is a form of relaxing. It's a form of relieving yourself maybe from the 9 to 5 and all that.
Yeah.
I tend to believe otherwise, because when you're employed, you work from 9 to 5.
Yes.
When it's your business, you work 24 hours.
You work 24 hours.
So how has the experience been for you?
First of all, I get what you're saying, because now people think kwanza when they hear it's your passion, they know now this one is just relaxing. There's nothing anafanya. But most of the time, for me, it has been more of, especially now that we're only 1.5 years old. So we are still at the initial stages.
Yeah.
So these initial stages need you to think throughout. Like you're thinking, how can I apply this idea? You get an idea, you see how you're going to apply it. So as you've said, it's a 24-hour cycle where you're not resting. You're still thinking, okay, I went to this event, so okay, what was the feedback? So can I get more clients through them? How can I do that? How can I advertise myself? All those things. So as you're saying, it's not actually maybe even the 8 to 5 p.m. Jobs, you get time to relax. But for us, I think also it comes with the benefit of balancing your time. Yeah, it comes with the benefit of balancing your time. You're able to balance your time, yes, but at the same time, even as you're balancing, it's not that you're relaxed, you're still working.